Hello everyone, Silent here and welcome back to another Bedrock Edition tutorial. Today I'll be showing you how to build a very simple and very fast ice highway generator for your world. These things are extremely easy to put together and very fun to use as well, and very quick. It takes about 30 seconds to get from the main end island to the outer end city islands. And this design is a little bit different than the design that I showed previously on my channel, as this one actually has two lanes, one on the left and one on the right side, complete with guardrails in the center and edges as well. So it's a very nice system for multiple people, for servers, for realms, wherever you want to use this. It's a very nice system. And this is really good to have currently on the Bedrock Edition, as the in-city gateways are very broken, to put it lightly. They can corrupt your world or destroy everything or just leave you in unloaded chunks or kill you. So yeah, you might not want to use those. Having one of these ice highways is much more reliable. So there's two main parts to how this entire system works. We have two flying machines, one in the front, and this is actually the water generator. This is what's going to be making a giant sheet of water, and that's all going to be pouring down into the void. That's why we have, the flying machine down here at Y5, and then we have another flying machine in the back. And this is actually what freezes all the water using a flying machine that has an armor stand on it with Frostwalker 2 boots. And then it also has a couple pistons on the sides and in the center as well. And that is what pulls up all of your guardrails. So it's a very simple little system. Honestly, not hard to throw together at all, and actually pretty resource light as well. And there's not much more to say about this really simple system, besides that you can build this and go out to the outer end city islands before ever defeating any of the Ender Dragons, so that's really cool. As you can probably hear, we have several of those guys up there right now, and there is another reason why we're building this down at the bottom of the world. Not only to reduce lag from all this water updates, but also because if you build it down at Y5, you can actually go right underneath all of the in-city islands, meaning that you never have to tunnel or dig or do anything like that. You can fly right underneath them, and that is just incredibly convenient. And the last thing to really note here is that we're going to be actually using a bug to make a very simple water generator, and this actually has to do with moving waterlogged blocks. So if you move a waterlogged block and it has a block underneath it, it'll actually generate a water source. As we can see from activating this flying machine, we're just going to get a giant pad of water sources, even though these ones over here never really interact with anything over there. And if we can go ahead and put on some boots, we'll go ahead and be able to freeze all of this, as you can see. So one day this bug might be fixed, but if it is, don't worry, just check the pinned comment down below in the description, because I will let you guys know when this bug gets patched, and I'll also make another video for fixing this flying machine if it does ever happen. So with all that stuff said and done, let's just hop into the tutorial, shall we? We're going to start off down here at the bottom of the world around Y5, and how you get down here is kind of up to you. I prefer a water bucket and some slow falling, and that way I can make like a reverse pillar going downwards. And once you get down here, you want a very well lit platform to avoid Enderman, and you also want to make this platform exactly 7 blocks long or 7 blocks wide and about 15 or 20 blocks long. That way you have ample room to work with. So once you have all that in place, we can actually start building up our rear flying machine. The right wing of our flying machine, so go up with 3 temporary blocks right here, and you want a sticky piston facing downwards, and go ahead and remove those 2. One more temporary block right there, and another sticky piston facing downwards. That should be in the very center of your platform. Go over by 3 more blocks to the left, and then on this side, you want another sticky piston facing downwards right there. So this is what's going to be bringing up your 3 guardrails, and then in between here is going to be your 2 wide ice roads on both sides. So that's pretty convenient. Go ahead and remove all of those temporary blocks, and now we want 4 slide blocks on the side of this side right here. Get yourself a normal piston facing forwards towards the rest of your flying machines, and then you want 3 more slime blocks just like so. So now let's head back to this right wing over here. We need a couple of temporary blocks and an observer facing forwards right there. That's going to activate your guardrail puller upper thing, and then we need to do that on the left side as well. 2 temporary blocks, observer, then remove those blocks, and that is pretty much all there is to do there. Get on top of your flying machine now, and you want a sticky piston facing towards the back of the flying machine. As you can see, that is indeed a sticky piston. And now go ahead and place 1 piece of obsidian in front of that as well, so that your flying machine doesn't start flying off without you. As now what you want to do is get yourself one more temporary block behind this piston there, and get yourself an observer facing towards the rear of the machine. And now we need to get in one more piston, or sorry, one more observer. So right beneath this slime block, we want 2 temporary blocks and an observer facing downwards right there. And that's going to activate all that. That is fine. Go ahead and remove those blocks. That'll activate again. And occasionally this piston might get left behind, but that's fine. Just move that forward. And because of randomness, this lower sticky piston might also get shot backwards, so just make sure that is right underneath this slime block as well. A little bit janky, but that's the only time that you'll ever have to worry about fixing this machine. And now what you want to do is go forward by 3 slime blocks off of that observer right there. Get yourself a normal piston facing towards the rear of the machine, 1 temporary block right there, and then 1 more observer facing towards the front, and that is going to keep your armor stand from ever launching off into the void because these things are pretty glitchy. So place yourself an armor stand right there and get yourself some Frostwalker 2 boots on that thing, and you'll be good to go. It doesn't need to be diamond boots, it can be whatever kind of boots you like as long as they have Frostwalker on them. So now that our rear flying machine is completely built up, we want to go ahead and build up the front one as well. And basically, this is really simple. We're going to go ahead and just place 3 slime blocks on the left right here, go backwards by 1, and place 4 slime blocks right there. Now get behind these, and you want a sticky piston in that location right there, and in this location right here as well. Now turn around and you want a normal piston right here. That should be lined up with that one and diagonal to that one as well. Get yourself a slime block behind that piston, slime block in front of that one, and 2 observers facing forwards just like so. Slime block in between them, come over to the side right here and place a sticky piston facing towards the back. And now you want an observer facing towards the side over there. And finally, just put 1 slime block right there. And that is actually your entire flying machine completely done. So now what you need to do is 2 things. You need to remove the entire platform from underneath this thing. You can actually reach most of the blocks from just standing on top of your flying machine, of course. So that shouldn't be too big of a deal. Once you have all the blocks removed from underneath your flying machine, you need to go ahead and place in a couple of stairs. So you need 1 stair right there, 2 right there just like so, and another one in that same kind of orientation, and 1 stair there, 1 stair there, and then 1 more stair like so. Kind of like 2 big old couches being dragged along by this flying machine. Once you have that in place, get your infinite water source, and you need water buckets inside of each one of these, and we are pretty much good to go for this entire flying machine. So you really want to make sure that all of the blocks are removed from this thing. You can of course use the third person or whatever cheeky means you need to. Really make sure that all the blocks are removed from underneath of these slime blocks specifically. Otherwise, your entire flying machine won't be doing much water creation. So now what you need to do is create a little bit of a platform out here so that you can activate this observer. Activating this one will send your entire flying machine off into the void and, you know, start making some water. We also need to remove that piece of obsidian right there. And now that we've done those 2 things, we need to actually activate these things. So let's go ahead and place a torch on the front of that observer, fly back, that was really weird. And then we need to place another torch on that observer right there. And what we should see is all of that get turned into frosted ice. And then these 3 pistons in the back actually start pulling these things up, which is pretty nice. Now, these ones are melting just because there's light sources right there. So be aware of that. This is frosted ice. It will melt if you put a torch on it. So don't do that. Otherwise, everything will melt. But that is pretty much all there is to it. You want to make sure that you stick within about 50 blocks of that flying machine right there. Otherwise, it will hit unloaded chunks and completely stop, which is not a good thing. So when you're making this ice road in survival, what you can actually do is just go ahead and stand like in front of this observer. That'll actually allow the machine to push you all the way to the outer end city islands and allow you to actually ride along with this, because of course you need to ride along with it. Otherwise, it's going to hit your unloaded chunks and totally break. So once you've actually ridden it the 1,000 blocks to get to the outer end city islands, or just wherever you want to actually end up stopping this machine, it is really easy to stop. So all you need to do is just place a block anywhere on that, and that will completely stop your entire machine. This thing is already at push limit, so any additional blocks will break it. And then for that one out there, what you need to do is just kind of let that fly and eventually that will hit a chunk border, be in unloaded chunks, and completely stop as well. And there you go, as you can see, it has now stopped. And then we can actually start this one up again to complete the ice highway, and that'll just finish freezing the rest of the water. And we just want to stop this one before it actually hits that flying machine. Otherwise, some things will be broken and you might need to fix it. Okay, so once you get to about this point here, just place another block on it and you'll be good to go. You could run it until you get literally to this point right here, but I don't want to really push it. If you want to restart this one again, it's most likely going to break in this orientation right here. So what you need to do is just update that observer and the entire thing will start flying again. As you can see, it's a very simple system to start and stop, and you can ride this however far you want to. You could ride this thing a million blocks if you wanted to, and you'll never hit an in-city island. I think it's a pretty significant improvement over my previous design, so hopefully you guys get a ton of use out of this in your worlds, and thank you very much to Skimfishes for helping me understand how these flying machines work. I'm a total noob when it comes to flying machines, and he really helped me understand these things quite a lot more. And thank you very much to Vakikif, hopefully I'm saying that right, for showing me how the water generation bug actually happens and how it works, so that way we can manipulate it for this design and make it way simpler. So of course, thank you very much yet again. And that is going to do it for this tutorial. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. Once again, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, then let me know in the comment section down below, as I'm always trying to help you out as much as I can. If you're new here, consider subscribing, leave a like on the video if you did enjoy, and I'll see you all down in the comment section and in the next one. And then there was silence.